All right, guys. So maybe yesterday we talked about how there's some backlash against Mitch McConnell becoming the leader of the Republicans in the Senate. Okay, they're trying to delay the vote because there's some members of the Senate, Republicans, that don't think Mitch McConnell should be in leadership any longer, especially considering how he's been accused of misallocating campaign funds during the midterms, which contributed to the lack of red wave. Okay, so people saying that we need to replace Mitch McConnell as leader of the Senate. And also Kevin McCarthy, who is assumed to going to be the Speaker of the House if the GOP holds on to the House majority. He is facing backlash and challenges for his leadership position as well. As members of the Freedom Caucus, which is essentially the America First Republicans in the House, are saying not so fast. We don't necessarily think it's a foregone conclusion that Kevin McCarthy should be the speaker, that he should replace Nancy Pelosi. And the rumblings have gotten so loud that Democrat Jamie Raskin went on the mainstream liberal media today to sound the alarm on the possibility that Trump could actually become the Speaker of the House instead. Take a look.
Election deniers didn't prevail in the key battlegrounds, but CBS tallied it, and at least 155 House Republicans in the new Congress have raised unfounded doubts about the validity or integrity of the 2020 election. These are going to be your colleagues that you will be working with. What change is that going to affect in the work you do?
Well, that's a statement about the political contamination of the GOP by Donald Trump. And again, Kevin McCarthy and other leaders within the Republican Party are now required to make a decision about whether they're going to try to rid themselves of Donald Trump and his toxic influence on the party.
But these 155 House Republicans are his constituency. Kevin McCarthy, if he wants to be leader, will need to consider.
Yes.
The
well,
needs
it's
of
a real
everyone.
problem for Kevin McCarthy now because there are certain pro-Trumpists within his House caucus who refuse to accept that he's really with Trump, and they want to get rid of McCarthy. And some of them, they have names very early in the alphabet, like Biggs, and they might just vote for Trump when they, take the roll call for Speaker. So we know that the hard right Freedom Caucus people are in search of another candidate. And one potential candidate whose name has been floated is Donald Trump himself, because the Speaker of the House does not have to be a member of the House. And they are talking about putting Trump right there.
That's not a real option now.
Well, they talk about it repeatedly. And if Trump decided he wanted to do it, it would pose a profound problem for their party because they refuse to do the right thing early on. I mean, today it seems like the spell has been broken. It's begun to dissolve. We don't have Republicans around the country claiming that they really won when it's been certified that they lost their elections. And yet there's still this big lie dogma, which, as you say, has been embraced by 150 members within their caucus. And so that is going to create profound cognitive and political dissonance within the GOP. Is it really Trump's party, or does it stand for something else? And Liz Cheney and Adam Kinzinger are going to force that question. They're going to force the Republicans to choose.
Yeah, so I love how in the wake of these midterm elections, okay, and both sides of the political aisle taking turns, essentially getting upset because the election didn't go the way that they wanted. You have Jamie Raskin, who's going on about this whole election denialism thing. Oh my God, these people deny the election. They deny the election. But this guy had no issues denying the legitimacy of the 2016 election when Trump won.
What purpose does the member rise?
I have an objection because 10 of the 29 electoral votes cast by Florida were cast by electors not lawfully certified because they violated Florida's prohibition against dual office holding.
Debate is out of order. Section 15 and 17 of the Title III of the United States Codes require that any objection be presented in writing, signed by both members of the House of both a member of the House of Representatives and a senator. Is the objection in writing and signed not only by the member of the House of Representatives, but also by a senator?
It is in writing, Mr. President.
Is it signed by a senator?
Not as of yet, Mr. President.
In that case, the objection cannot be.
Yeah, so live footage of Jamie Raskin, Mr. Anti-insurrectionist, being an insurrectionist himself, okay, doing what he's constitutionally allowed to do, the same thing that everybody else in Congress, okay, the people that he's chastising as election deniers, did on January 6th. Okay, they had that constitutional right and authority to object to the election. He did that. Oh, no problem. Great. Right? You can do that. But apparently you can't if you are a Republican. I wish that the people in the mainstream media would do their jobs and actually call people out on their hypocrisy. But they never do. Right? They never do. So with that being said, let's get down to what he's saying here. This guy is terrified of the idea of Trump becoming Speaker of the House, which is an idea that has been floated around here in political circles. I think Matt Gaetz was the first person to suggest it because it is possible for somebody that's actually not elected to Congress to be the Speaker, which is a cool thing that a lot of people really don't know. So what that means is that Trump is actually technically eligible to be Speaker of the House, and there's nothing I can think of that would make the Democrats melt down more than Trump becoming Speaker of the House, because they want to face Trump in the primaries, okay? They have no problems helping people like Trump, win a primary because they think they can beat him, but they don't actually want Trump to get into a government position. If Trump was actually elected into a major government position, that would cause them to lose their minds. And Jamie Raskin's there, he looks paranoid, right? He sounds paranoid of the idea that Trump is going to get a few votes to become Speaker of the House, even though he knows realistically that's not going to happen for a couple reasons. One, Trump doesn't want to become Speaker of the House. I don't think he wants to be Speaker of the House. I think he wants to be president. And two, I don't think he's going to get enough votes. Kevin McCarthy's definitely going to have a hard time getting the 218 votes that he needs to be Speaker. But I don't think that Trump is going to be his closest competition. I think that McCarthy is ultimately going to have to give some compensation or some concessions to the Freedom Caucus in order to get their votes. And that's probably what's going to end up happening. But I will say I hate the fact that Kevin McCarthy and Mitch McConnell are considered the leaders in the Republican Party in Congress. I think that's one of the biggest problems with the Republican Party right now is just bad leadership. Okay, and that starts with Kevin McCarthy and Mitch McConnell, who Republicans continue to vote for over and over and over again to lead them in Congress. And it really blows my mind, but I understand why. It's because they can raise the most money, right? They know how to sell themselves like prostitutes the best, okay? So I get why they continue to get elected over and over and over again. But in my ideal world, I would like to see somebody like Jim Jordan be the Speaker of the House, like realistically, or Josh Hawley be the leader of the Republicans in the Senate. That's what I would like to see. That would be my dream scenario. Unfortunately, that's not going to happen, right? But, it is what it is. Again, another dream scenario would be Trump being the Speaker of the House, because I just think it would be hilarious to watch Trump preside over Biden's impeachment, right? The same way that Nancy Pelosi presided over Trump's impeachment. I would love to see Trump actually going after Democrats and impeaching them, okay? Again, these people will have a meltdown. These people will lose their minds. But who knows, though? Trump says he has a big announcement to make in a couple days. Maybe his announcement could be, hey, I am running for Speaker of the House more so than being president. Maybe that's the announcement. Who knows? I doubt it. But I'm just saying, with the rumblings going on in the House right now about the Freedom Caucus revolting against Kevin McCarthy and Trump being a favorite among those Republicans, if Trump launched a bid to be Speaker of the House, I think that it would be very, very, very tough for the Republicans to vote against him being Speaker. Okay, I think it would be super tough considering how Trump's record in the primaries is pristine. If Trump primaries a Republican, it's over for their career. I mean, we see that happen with Liz Cheney, Adam Kinzinger, right? It's probably about to happen with Lisa Murkowski in Alaska. If Trump actually wanted to be Speaker of the House, I think he can make a run for it if he really, really wanted to do it, but I don't think he will. Who knows, though? Stranger things have happened. Let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.